Someone just called you a socialist for saying insulin shouldn't cost $300. Why do people weaponize socialism and communism like they mean the same thing when they describe completely different systems? Today, I'll explain socialism versus communism like you're 5 years old. By the end, you'll understand why this confusion destroys every political debate. You'll see whether we're mad at capitalism itself or just the rigged version we're trapped in. Here's what most people get wrong about these systems. They treat socialism and communism like they're interchangeable insults. Socialism keeps private ownership, money, and markets running. It wants government heavily involved to smooth out inequality. That means universal healthcare, strong unions, corporate regulations, higher taxes on the wealthy. You still clock in, get paychecks, and can start a business. The government just ensures billionaires don't buy their third yacht, while teachers need second jobs to afford rent. Countries like Denmark and Sweden operate this way. They have thriving businesses, stock markets, and private enterprise, but also guarantee that citizens won't go bankrupt from medical emergencies or graduate with crushing student debt. Communism goes way further into radical territory. It wants to eliminate private ownership of major industries entirely. No CEOs hoarding profits while workers split crumbs. It aims to abolish social classes, phase out money eventually, and eliminate the state itself. In theory, it's a classless, stateless society where everyone shares everything and nobody exploits anyone. Sounds perfect, right? Well, here's the catch nobody mentions about that utopia. To reach that utopia, you need a super powerful government to seize property and reorganize society from scratch. That temporary powerful state almost never disappears. It's like saying you'll check Instagram before bed. 6 hours later, you're watching tiny pancake videos wondering where your life went. The transition phase becomes permanent because power corrupts, and those in control decide they should stay in control forever. They justify it by saying the people aren't ready yet, that external threats require strong leadership, that the revolution must be protected. Years turn into decades, and suddenly that temporary government has been in power for generations. So why does this confusion wreck your actual debates? When someone yells, "That's socialism," at affordable insulin proposals, nobody's discussing the same thing anymore. One person thinks socialism means the government owns your toothbrush. The other thinks capitalism means Jeff Bezos personally stole their retirement. Meanwhile, the real policy question, should pharmaceutical companies charge $300 for medication costing $8 to produce, gets buried in noise. You wanted to solve a problem, but now you're stuck in a vocabulary war. Nobody wins. The conversation shifts from solving healthcare costs to defending political philosophies neither person fully understands. Neither system works perfectly because humans don't work perfectly. Socialism can become bloated and inefficient when government runs everything. You get DMV energy managing your healthcare, housing, and jobs simultaneously. Long lines everywhere, endless paperwork, zero urgency because there's no competition, and nobody gets fired. Services stagnate because the incentive structure rewards existence, not excellence. When there's no competition, innovation dies because why improve when you're the only option available? Communism historically becomes authoritarian because that temporary powerful state enjoys being powerful. When you give a small group complete control to reorganize society for the greater good, they decide it looks like them staying in charge. Every major attempt at communism ended with surveillance, purges, and poverty instead of equality. Soviet Union, Maoist China, Cuba, North Korea, same pattern everywhere. The theory sounds beautiful, but the execution requires ignoring human nature entirely. People respond to incentives, and when everyone gets the same regardless of effort, productivity collapses. But capitalism creates its own disasters with wealth concentration too. 3 people own more than half the country, while others struggle daily. Monopolies kill competition and jack up prices, because what are you gonna do? Not buy internet? Housing became an investment vehicle instead of where humans live, making it unaffordable for actual residents. Productivity increased 60% while paychecks pretend inflation doesn't exist. Your landlord raises rent annually, while your boss says there's no budget for raises. Yet somehow, there's always money for corporate retreats in Cabo that you're not invited to. Companies report record profits in the same breath they announce layoffs and hiring freezes. This matters because the real debate isn't socialism versus capitalism. It's this. Are we angry at capitalism itself, or the corrupt, unregulated version we're experiencing? There's capitalism where competition keeps prices fair and workers have leverage. Then there's what we're doing now. Corporations write their own regulations and dodge taxes offshore. They convince us pizza parties count as cost of living adjustments. It's the difference between playing Monopoly by the rules versus something else entirely. Playing with someone who's also the banker, invents rules mid-game, and owns Boardwalk before you've circled once. Here's what breaks the conversation every single time. When Europeans mention universal healthcare, Americans scream socialism like it's a curse. But most European countries aren't socialist. They're capitalist economies with strong social programs. You can still start companies, get rich, and buy overpriced sneakers. The government just ensures a broken leg won't bankrupt you, or that college graduates won't carry debt equal to a house down payment. Germany has universal healthcare and also produces BMW, Mercedes, and Adidas. France guarantees healthcare and still has luxury brands like Louis Vuitton and Chanel. Meanwhile, actual communist countries like the Soviet Union collapsed for clear reasons. Centrally planned economies can't adapt, innovate, or figure out supply needs without feedback loops. Pure capitalism without guardrails turns into feudalism with extra steps. When corporations get big enough, they stop competing and start eliminating it instead. They buy competition, lobby for protective laws, and create monopolies that would impress robber barons. It's like playing a video game where one player unlocked all cheat codes and flies around invincible while you're learning basic controls. You're not playing the same game, but everyone insists the rules are fair because technically you both press start. When subscription services charge $15 monthly for something you used to own forever, that's not communism. That's unchecked capitalism realizing perpetual rent beats one-time sales every time. When housing prices require 8 years of salary instead of 2, like in 1970, that's not socialism. That's capitalism working perfectly for investors, just not for you at all. When wages stay flat for 50 years while rent, healthcare, and education costs skyrocket, that's not economic mystery. That's what happens when workers have zero leverage and corporations have all of it. Power corrupts regardless of which system you choose to implement. Socialism promises equality, but can create dependency and stagnation. Communism promises liberation, but delivers authoritarianism because absolute power attracts people who shouldn't have it. Capitalism promises freedom and innovation, but concentrates wealth so dramatically that most people trade their time to survive, while a tiny group plays with rockets. Every system is a group project where one person does nothing but takes credit. Except sometimes that person runs everything and convinces everyone it was their idea all along. Maybe the problem isn't picking Team Socialism or Team Capitalism. Maybe we're so busy arguing about labels that we're not fixing anything. You want affordable healthcare? Let's discuss that policy specifically. You want accessible housing? What's the actual policy we should implement? You think billionaires should pay more taxes? How much and what does it fund? But the second someone yells, "That's socialism," and another screams, "Bootlicker," the conversation dies. Everyone posts angrily online. Nothing improves. It's like arguing whether you're drowning in a pool or ocean while actively drowning. The label doesn't save you. You need someone to throw a rope. We waste time defending ideologies instead of testing solutions. Here's your recap of everything we covered. Socialism keeps private ownership in markets, but wants heavy government involvement to reduce inequality through regulations, welfare, and redistribution. Communism wants to eliminate private ownership, abolish classes, and phase out money in the state, though that transitional government sticks around like a houseguest who needs just a week but occupies your couch 6 months later. Both sound great in theory and get messy when humans, power, and incentives collide in reality. Capitalism isn't a perfect default either here. It creates innovation and freedom until monopolies form and wealth concentrates so dramatically that pulling yourself up by bootstraps becomes the economic equivalent of telling someone to smile more during a crisis. It works until it doesn't. Until the game is rigged so thoroughly that hard work means survival, not success. The promise was that anyone could make it with enough effort. But when the starting line keeps moving further back while the finish line disappears entirely, that promise rings hollow. So here's your real question to consider. Are we mad at capitalism itself or furious at the rigged, corporate-controlled version where rules only apply to people without lawyers? And if we can't agree on what we're actually arguing about, how will we ever fix the problems affecting your rent, your healthcare, your wages, and your future?